Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Sibling Ting podcast.
Way!
I'm Charlie, I'm the older sister, and I talk about motorsports.
I am Jesse. I speak about football, I speak about darts, and I'm the youngest child.
I am Carter, I'm a middle child, and I will be talking about boxing and UFC.
Beautiful. Oh my god, you guys didn't even mess up
It's
there.
quite actually professional.
I know,
weirdly.
I'm proud of you.
Jesse, you didn't say...
Something rude.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
nothing rude. Nothing like, oh, we're going to have to bleep it out.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Nothing that was remotely wrong. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm learning. I am growing up.
Before we get into the podcast, we have just a little bit of a phrase we like to say, don't we, boys?
We do.
Are we going to do it?
Yeah.
Here we are. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Lights out and podcast on.
I actually forgot it for a second, right? No, so I actually did forget. In my head I thought, is it green? Is it lights out? Is it? And I forgot, and I was just hoping muscle memory would kick in, and it did. It worked.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Right. Jesse, we're handing over to you because, oh my God,
Starting.
we had a great week this week, didn't we, boys? Until
We
the end of
did.
it. We had a great time.
I think the end of it was
until
fun.
I did not. You didn't get hit in the face with beer 3 times.
You never got hit in the face.
I got hit in the face and I got hit in the legs twice.
You never got hit in the face. You may have got hit a couple of times.
No, I did. The first time it hit, like, well, I say face, it didn't smash me in the face, but it got my, like, eyebrow,
So
it got my glasses, and it got my hair.
I mean, I hit someone
It
on the
did.
head.
I had
I'm
to
pretty
clean
sure.
I had to clean my glasses when I got home. I was very upset. Anyway.
Essentially, Premier League of Darts happened. We were there live. We all got T-shirts.
We did.
Who got who?
I got Mr. Going Price.
I got Aspinall.
And I got Luke Humphreys.
Anyway, we show up.
Hart was the only person in our section with a Humphreys top on.
I'm pretty sure. I saw... Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people, obviously I didn't see, but I only saw 5 people in the entire time. And I look around places a lot, and I only saw 5 T-shirts. But it was covered in red of Aspinall. It was covered in Littler.
Aspinall,
And I'll be honest, I didn't see any...
I didn't see any
I actually
Gezi.
saw a group of 3 lads wearing Gezi T-shirts.
To be fair, do you know when we were in line to get T-shirts, there was a woman in front of us, her and her son got Gezi
Gezi,
T-shirts.
Yeah, there was a few.
I did want to get Aspinall, but
I almost didn't get Aspinall because they almost didn't have my size. And I was like,
Yeah.
I am not wearing an extra large version of a T-shirt.
I wanted Aspinalls, but I like Gezi as well, so I settled for Gezi. Anyway, we've shown up. The O2, absolute phenomenal venue.
Yeah, lovely.
I'm not going to lie, a casual O2 bar is a good derby bar, which just shows the levels.
No, it was so... No, it wasn't. I can't express... So, I bought the first round of beer at...
I'm not saying the price, I'm saying the bar
Yeah,
itself.
I'm going to say now the price. So, we were stood there. Me and Car had 2 waters. You had... Was it a Stella?
I had a bit of Moretti.
You had a beer Moretti. No, the first time you didn't have beer Moretti.
Can we say this? Do we get copyright?
I don't know. Anyway, you had a
almost
beer, a
certain you
generalised beer. Anyway, it came to £15. I don't even want to know how much that beer cost. Like, that was on £15 for 2 bottles of water. For some reason, we had to have it in a cup as well. I don't understand why I couldn't have the bottle.
Yeah, advertising.
Because I'll be honest with you, I feel like the bottle would have been less of a threat than the actual glass was.
Oh, you're talking about the one at the dart? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
one
at the darts
That
was
Stella,
unreal.
yeah.
That was £15 for a Stella and 2 Buxtons. 2 Buxton waters. Unreal.
That's
unreal.
the O2 for
It
you.
was ridiculous.
Anyways, the bar itself, the one we went to before we went to the actual darts bar, I thought was a very good pub.
Was that the little one?
Yeah,
That was really cute,
The
to be
drinks
fair.
were horrible.
It was basically Roxy Ballroom on crack.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
An average O2 bar, minus the price, is just
I'll tell
really
you what, O2 was impressive.
It's a very
there
good,
was
yeah.
so much to do. If we ever go again, I think we could spend the whole day in O2 and then, like, go to that.
Yeah, you
evening.
fully could, yeah.
It was so good. We should have got stuff from the motorsport shop.
We should have, but
Regrets.
we didn't.
No, because we were there for one reason. And one
that was
reason
the
only.
darts.
That was darts.
Anyway, we've gone up. I've had a few to drink.
Yeah.
And then we started watching, and I can't underplay how good it actually is
It
live.
was so good.
It's very, very good. Mr. Brightside live. It's so good. I predicted
Mr.
right.
Bright was
really
good.
good. They did Angels at half time, I'm going to call it as well, which is also really good.
You missed Kiss Cam.
Kiss Cam happened.
Yeah,
Kiss
it's
Cam,
funny.
yeah.
There's a bunch of they'd go to drunk guys together in costumes.
Really?
Like Kiss Cam. They won't go to like baseball games in America. They always go to couples. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah. No,
They did a couple, and then to be fair, quite a few to begin with were just very awkwardly mwah, or cheeks and stuff. They didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they went to these two guys.
Yeah.
And one of them was steaming. He just turned his mate around and full on planted
I think
it. And then after that, everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
As soon as we went to drunk guys that's dressed up and stuff, yeah, they don't care. That was
dressed up.
You know what? I think it's darts. How do I put this? You don't, even if you don't like the sport of darts, you'd enjoy the night out
Yeah,
of
it was
darts.
a great night out.
You'd watch it. One thing that isn't shown on TV is the war between tables and stands.
wow, yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Most of the games where you hear the shout in the background is actually just stands and tables going at it.
It was so
just,
bad.
Majority of the chants that we were doing was at the tables.
And they were doing it
Back at us, yeah.
You can't afford a table. You can't afford a table.
We were stands, by the way.
Mum's paying your mortgage. Your mum's paying your mortgage.
But hey, I will advise to everyone who's listening, even if you don't like the sport of darts, it's spectacular night out. So I would highly recommend to each and every one of you.
We also saw a bit of a link here. We saw Tony Bellew from Nine Darter.
Yeah.
Not a nine.
Yeah, I was going to say,
He threw nine darts.
Imagine Tony Bellew came out. I was like, yeah, no worries, lads, no worries, and just threw some
Bang,
nine darts.
bang, bang.
Yeah, that's amazing.
No, he did 9 darts.
Do you know what? As far as entertainment goes, Kiss Cam, karaoke.
Yeah, karaoke.
Tony Bellew doing a 9 dart challenge beforehand.
I thought the funny thing about Angels as well is everyone loved it. Everyone was going mental, and then they cut it.
That was horrible. Yeah, I don't forgive them for that.
On.
But as far as a night goes, entertainment is 10 out of 10. You can't beat it.
And you can actually hear Gezi Price. I mean, we got decent tickets. We weren't far off stage.
Yeah, we were.
And we were quite close down to the ground. But you could actually hear Gezi as he did his booyah. You could hear it. And
he was aggressive with his booyah.
It's to be honest, the only thing that I didn't really enjoy about the night was just the travelling. Obviously, the car ride back was very long. I slept.
I feel worse for car. Yeah. I did everything to stay awake. I need to be clear to you.
It's fine.
Not leave your
it finishes at 10:30.
Yeah.
And then by the time we actually got back to our car, it's about midnight. And then I've got a couple hours on M1 driving. It's long driving.
Yeah.
But I did tell you to. I was like, "You're right. Just go sleep. Sleep on the way back."
I
fell
did
asleep.
everything not to, and then eventually I was just like, "No."
So I fell asleep on the tube, and I fell asleep on the car ride back.
That was great.
Yeah. I also got stroked by the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, someone, just a random man in a Hulk costume came up, stroked you on the head, and went, "It'll be all right, mate. It'll be all right."
Yeah, So as far as a night out goes, every person listening, go to darts. Go to darts and enjoy it. And now the sporting aspect of it, there was a winner of that night.
Yeah.
Was he the expected winner? No. Littler, that first game, I didn't. And in the first 3 legs, I thought it was going to be the decimation, and I thought Littler was just going to claim that second title. But then Humphries found his form. Yeah. Humphries versus Aspinall, by the way.
I was going to say, you have to talk about that man. Yeah. It was so... the average was ridiculous.
Crazy. It wasn't looking like this.
Both got it was 102 and 104 average.
That's what I mean. The average was unreal.
The thing was, me and Charlie were supporting Aspinall that game, and every time it would happen, we would cheering for Aspinall, but we kept turning each other and just thought, God, Humphries is good though, isn't he? He's just unreal.
So
I'm a Humphries fan, so I was obviously chanting for I was supporting him. Nobody else was, but I remember everybody's face looking around as Aspinall was missing a few. He's good, but he does miss a few, and he was missing his darts. And then obviously everyone's going, oh, and then I was watching people's faces as Humphries hits his, and everyone goes, yeah.
What I like is, do you know,
Like, no one-
whenever someone got a 180, I don't think it happened a lot with Aspinall, but it happened a lot with Luke Littler. Whenever 180 happened with Littler, everyone was like, yes!
Yeah.
Everyone was screaming.
Yeah.
The minute Humphries did it, it was like,
Hey, well done.
I feel bad.
I tried my
I felt
best.
so bad for him.
Yeah.
But as far as a match goes, Aspinall versus Humphries was incredible.
So good.
Like, just
That was probably the highlight for me. I think
that
that
was
match was
such a
incredible.
And they're
Good
so
match.
respectful to each other. They like each other, so it wasn't disrespectful. They did not, so some darts players when they're going against each other, like, Littler can have it against quite a few people.
Yeah.
They'll argue with me and Mardy, and Mardy means moody, by the way. That's a Derby term. I don't think
anyone
people
who
know.
doesn't know.
He's a bit moody, and he'll throw, and if he misses or something, he's not respectful to the sport.
Not always.
no, I would disagree.
Well, no,
with that.
not always.
no, he's definitely.
I think he's getting
moody all the time.
better.
I don't think he is.
I think he is.
But Humphries and Aspinall, they're not them people. They're quite nice, especially to each other, and it was quite respectful how they were doing it.
And after, obviously, one of the best matches we saw tonight, Humphries won the Premier League.
Yeah.
Humphries is officially a Premier League winner. So I just hats off to him, and what a great night. I just, you know what,
Best in the world.
I wish it came across sooner. But in other darts news, just top, because the Premier League, all we can say is 10 out of 10 night.
Yeah, great.
We can't recommend it more. And also, if you want to get into darts, that will get you into darts going to one.
But if you throw a beer, I
would say
personally
that.
have beef with you.
So
personally.
we did get into a beer dodgeball match at the end of the
No, we didn't. That cretin sat across from me right now. That's the reason we got into a beer.
No, it
a
wasn't.
choice.
It wasn't.
No, because you
They
turned to me
chucked
again.
it first.
He turned to me
They
again and
chucked
was
it
like,
first.
Charlie, I was getting revenge for you. I don't
What?
want you to get
Right.
revenge for me. I don't want that.
So as soon as it ended, right, they started throwing beers at our section, because our section, the people in front of us, like a couple rows down,
And
was
us.
shouting abuse. Not as much, it was people below us that were throwing abuse.
Oh,
at
shouting
them.
abuse wasn't us.
Yeah, they were shouting
We did the
abuse and
songs.
stuff, and then as soon as they started leaving, they just started throwing the pints and the cups up and stuff. And apparently, I'm guessing it happens quite often at darts.
And I'll be clear when I
And
say
they were
those pints are
throwing-
not cheap.
Oh,
Yeah.
they are not, no.
They must have been so drunk to not care about
Yeah.
it. So they were chucking at us, and I never got hit. I was fine, but you two got hit a little bit. And I went and got a cup, and I ran down. And I chucked one back, and then next minute a jug was thrown. But that was always going to get
That's
thrown,
me.
right? That jug was always going to get thrown. It's just I had just thrown
Who
one
did
before.
that? Who did that jug hit? Cart.
Yeah, but you were getting hit by all of them, so it didn't matter. Like it was
The
like.
smallest one hit.
Charlie-
How was
Charlie,
I
I
was
got
on
hit
it?
clean. I got
Charlie,
hit clean.
it was,
man.
yeah. He got hit like smack on the back of the chest,
chest,
was it?
yeah.
Yeah, slap bang on the chest. It went everywhere.
I got
I was
side on my
fine.
face.
I was fine.
I got thigh and I got calf.
The most I got right was I got like a few droplets on my hand, and
so
I was like,
sad.
"Oh wow, they are throwing," and I had to throw one back, and I was fine.
In regards to other darting news as well, following the Premier League, there was a Euro tour, one of the bigger ones of the year,
Okay.
and the winner of the Euro tour was Nathan Aspinall.
Aspinall.
He beat Damien Hester
when?
in the final. This was last week. No, was it? Yeah, last week.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was one of the bigger Euro tours. I think
Good
it was
lad.
in Germany.
Good lad.
Nathan Aspinall comes out and wins it. So up
My
the
boy.
ass,
Yeah,
love
fair
the
enough.
ass.
Well done,
My boy.
Aspinall.
And in
I'll
other
wear that shirt with pride, boy.
in other darting
I'll wear
news,
mine with pride.
Shut up.
the World Cup of Darts is coming up,
Oh, Jesus.
and the England team is Luke Humphries and Luke Littler.
You know what's funny,
squared.
right? Is that the
squared.
Premier League, is it not like the best of?
The World Cup of Darts.
Yeah, of
So
a
the
World-
World Cup of Darts essentially goes by each country, and your order of merit in the world ranking will be the top two.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah. The Premier League though is like whoever's the best in darts goes on the Premier League.
No.
For 8.
That's just.
No. So no, the Premier League works. The top four in order of merit
Okay.
will automatically qualify, and then
So exactly what I just said.
No, then the other four is chosen by.
Yeah,
Because if it was
well, the top 4 will be the best.
the four that are chosen his Order of Merit, and then the other 4, like when it started this year, Gezi and Aspinall were chosen, and a lot of people disagreed with that because they thought
Right, no, but the top 4, like Littler and Humphreys, were on merit because they're the best.
Yeah,
That's
they're number 1 and 2 in the world.
Exactly. And that's our team. It came down, the Premier League came down to the best 2 in the world because they're the best 2 in the world.
And they're both English.
And they're both English, so they're playing on a team together where they're going to go against probably Vandenberg. It's great. He's great. Sure.
There's some good teams.
He's great.
There's some good teams.
And he could beat us. They're not going to beat.
I don't see them beating us. But
Italy. Who does Italy have? Does Italy have any darts
I think
players?
the best teams currently.
Do they play darts?
The best teams currently: England, Luke Humphries and Luke Littler; Wales, Gowan Price and Johnny Clayton; Scotland, Peter Wright and Gary Anderson; Belgium, Dimitri Vandenberg and Mike De Decker;
What name?
Germany, Martin Schindler and Pikachu.
Yeah.
Pikachu.
Netherlands is Danny Noppert and Jean Van Veen. So there's good teams, but they're not England.
I think she was checking then, like, are you reading from something? You just knew that?
Yeah.
That is impressive, Leslie. That is impressive.
What about Netherlands? Isn't that?
I just said that. Danny Noppert and Jean Van Veen.
No, what was Van Gogh? Who's Van Gogh?
He dropped out.
Did he?
Yeah.
Why?
He's going for a divorce.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
But that is all we have in darting news. In football news, not really a lot to talk about with the season being
all over.
Oh, I do have
Except England is playing soon. In the qualifiers, we've got England coming up against, I believe it's Senegal in a friendly, and is it? I can't even remember who it is in the qualifiers.
Wow.
I watch
That's
England.
Your country.
I watch England all the time, but
you're the
Andorra. It's just not useless teams. Just
Jesse, you're meant to be the expert, which means I expect if I ask you what the whole squad team of England in 2008 is, I expect you to know.
Yeah, fact.
Yeah.
Fact.
okay.
Who's the striker
For 2008 England team, Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, no, I knew that. That's the only one. No, yeah, I could take a guess out of you, but I ain't got a clue. But I do have
Name
a bit
me
of football.
the footballer I'm thinking of right now.
Edison.
No.
Neymar.
No. You get one more chance.
Pickford.
I'm gonna go.
Shouting at you in my head right now.
Okay, Harry Kane.
No. Lampard.
Talking about Harry Kane, he is by 5 goals the top goal scorer of this season Bundesliga.
I think he's top
26
seeded
goals.
to score it in the world at the moment.
Oh, is he?
So.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Harry Kane is the best striker in the world at the moment. I won't be convinced otherwise. I'm just 2 games coming up for England. It's nice to see it. We have got a World Cup coming up. I would like to see 2 wins. Will we see 2 wins? I don't know.
Really?
Who's good? Andorra and who?
Andorra and Senegal. Realistically, we win.
I mean, yeah, of course we win, but it's how much we win by.
I think Andorra, we win a good 5-0.
This is a true fact, right, guys? Yeah. I have been to Andorra, and I stayed at a campsite in Andorra, which on my campsite you look down at the national football pitch.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty
It's
cool.
a tennis court. So, it's not a tennis court, but that's like the size of it. If we lose...
Normally England do bits against teams like Andorra, like with North Macedonia and all that. Although I'm saying that, we did draw 1-1 against North Macedonia last time we played them away. But Andorra, if we play well and the way that we have been really playing like pretty good, I see a good 5-0 win coming. Senegal, however, a pretty good team actually. But that is at home, so I see a 3-0 win there. When it comes to the World Cup, I see us winning it. Because I love England and
I'll support him for everything. I don't think under the manager we're going to do very well, but I'll support him.
That's me, boys. That's me. I've got nothing else.
Southgate's arse.
I won't see anyone as good. Tell you that. I shall be talking about boxing. I don't have a whole bunch to talk about, but I do have a match coming up on the 7th, which would be Friday.
Yep. Oh no, Saturday.
which will be Fabio Wardley versus Justice Honey.
Honey.
Which is a heavyweight fight. It's not for a belt, and unfortunately, they're not very known, so it won't get televised as much. But I do like heavyweight fights, so I will be watching. But the undercard or the co-main event, which I will be watching, is Dillian White. Yeah. Which I'm a big fan of Dillian White. He should stop boxing now, but he's still going for it. And he's got a mystery opponent to be announced.
Dun, dun, dun.
Don't know who it is. I still think it might be Derek Chisora, just because they've had 2 fights and they had a proper good rivalry. Maybe they go, I'll have a third one.
Triple header, like it.
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like they'd also have, if they did do that, it'd be better if they actually got a face-off and conferences, because they go for it. They do not like each other. But still, to be announced, it could be someone big, could be someone small, who knows. Either way, get to see Dillian White fight again, which I'm happy with. On the 27th of June, which is obviously in a few weeks, may or may not see Deontay Wilder fight again.
I thought it got announced today, didn't it?
Yeah, but it's still not 100% confirmed, which is annoying.
Which it probably is, and Cart just refuses to believe.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it's true.
Until they're in that ring,
it's true. Until they're in the ring, I do not believe it. And you've got Jake Paul, Julian Chavez Jr. Again, may or may not happen. It's not confirmed.
No, that one is happening.
Jesse, until it happens in the ring, I do not believe it.
But that one is confirmed.
Can you imagine if every single race day I was like, until they're actually on the track, I don't believe it's going to happen.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't believe it's going to happen.
Well, I've not seen him on the track, so
I don't believe him. But either way,
don't believe it.
There's not really many matches on UFC. There is something to talk about UFC, and I do not talk about UFC massively because I don't know a whole bunch. I know the famous people, and I know a little bit enough to talk. I don't know a whole bunch. All I know is UFC 316 is coming up on Sunday, and it will be Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. I feel confident in that. I actually feel really confident in that. They will be fighting, and I will back why can't I say it now? I'll back him because I don't really.
Back who?
Merab Dvalishvili. See, this is why I do not do UFC. This is not my. It's not my area. I do boxing, but I do think he will probably win. I don't like Sean O'Malley, so I'm not going to back him. However, a bigger thing to talk about in UFC, Tom Aspinall has come out on a call with Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen. Now, I do know these guys. Chael Sonnen is one of the funniest professional fighters there was. He has so many jokes. Some of them I can't actually repeat on live. He's just so funny. Daniel Cormier is arguably one of the best mixed martial artists of all time. These guys are great. And they were talking with Tom Aspinall, and Tom Aspinall said, well, John Jones is retired now. By sounds of it, he knows he is. Is John Jones actually retired? Is he not? We don't know.
Next week and find
Tune in
out.
next week, yeah.
It
sounds like he might
actually
be. Dragon Ball Z. It does sound like he actually might be retired, which was always going to happen. I don't know if he wants to fight.
He's never going to fight Aspinall.
He's not going to fight Aspinall.
Aspinall would kill him.
He would. I will say this.
Aspinall.
Aspinall is a fan favourite and like everything now. Aspinall, Jones won't fight Aspinall because, and I will say this, Daniel Cormier said it actually on his podcast. John Jones is not scared of Tom Aspinall. He's not. John Jones is John Jones. He's a great fighter. He's not scared of him, but he probably does understand he can't beat Tom Aspinall. Nothing he can do he won't be able to beat him. He can't take steroids now because they will be tested, which is how he's pretty much won every fight he's been in. He's too old. He's not fought anyone as good as Tom Aspinall, the size of Tom Aspinall. He's just not going to be able to beat him. So he's not scared. He just has a perfect record, kind of, right now. So why waste it to have one last fight and ruin your legacy?
Yeah.
He is ruining his legacy, sort of, for one, ducking Francis Ngannou, which he was. He was never going to fight Francis Ngannou. And now he's ducking Tom Aspinall. I understand why. If you've got a perfect record, why waste it? You're older now, you can retire with a good record and say that was it. But he is ducking. He is ducking. Don't blame him, but he is ducking. He's not scared, he's just ducking. And Tom Aspinall knows that. However, John Jones has so many fans. I'm scared to say that on live because John Jones fans are like insane. They'll back him forever.
Would it be like fighting a panther?
I could fight a panther. I could take a panther. I've got no issues with taking a panther. John Jones.
Would you take John Jones?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I fancy the panther a lot more, I tell you that. But no, Tom Aspinall would beat him. And
I think he knows that.
John Jones knows that.
He knows
Tom
that.
Aspinall knows it. He would probably be able to knock out John Jones. John Jones can't get hit that hard. He can get stumbled. And if he gets hit by Tom Aspinall, which punches
very,
harder than anyone and
very
faster.
Very hard puncher, yeah.
Really hard puncher, but it's the speed and the power of a punch coming at you. He's too much for Jones, so he probably would knock out Jones. And John Jones knows that. Not scared of it, he just doesn't want to fight it. Why waste that record? So I don't get it. I don't blame him. Fair enough.
Fair.
But he probably should retire now, which means someone else can come up and say, I challenge Tom for the actual Undisputed. Because right now, they're kind of split Undisputed.
He's interim, isn't he?
Interim, yeah, which is like having, in boxing you have 4 belts. It's like them having 2 each. So,
okay.
You know, and they're not going to fight each other, so they can't have like 4 belts, like Undisputed, because John Jones is refusing to fight. So as soon as he retires, he has to give a belt up to Tom Aspinall. He becomes Undisputed, and then he can defend his title. Anybody that wants to fight, they can fight him for it, and yeah, which should have happened a long time ago because he's refused to fight Aspinall, which means his belt should be stripped away. A lot of people said that, but it hasn't because they like John Jones too much and they disrespect everyone else. So, is what it is. I would love to see him retire so people can actually start the heavyweight division. Tom Aspinall can defend. He might lose, might win some, someone else might come along, but they can actually get it started and move up, which I'll be very excited for. I'm pretty much done.
Okay.
For my segment.
Well, I have a lot to talk about because the Spanish GP happened this week. And oh my God, what a GP for me to be working during.
I know.
I can't believe I missed it. Right. I mean, I feel like we can talk about all elements of it because obviously I've watched the highlights. I've kind of caught up on the actual race as much as I can do anyway. So I feel like there's so many elements that we could talk about, but I'm going to say there's 3 things that I majorly want to speak about.
Okay.
3 things. First and foremost, I want to say how heartbreaking it is to watch Lewis Hamilton lose his spark. And that's what I think we are watching. We're not watching a 7-time world champion feel great anymore. We're seeing him absolutely lose that little bit. That his confidence is shattered.
The same as Alonso.
Yeah, I think the same thing's happening. And I know you keep saying it's age. I don't know if it is necessarily age or if it's just the fact that I think, especially, I don't know for Alonso, but especially for Hamilton, he has changed to a completely different car that he doesn't really understand in Ferrari. And Ferrari, I mean, I'm a Ferrari girl, I support Ferrari, but Ferrari do things for how Ferrari do things. You can't really edit that, and it's not like it's very much we're doing it the way we want to do it. And I don't know if Lewis can necessarily always meld well with that, because I think he's such an individualistic driver. He likes having that sort of control aspect. To see Adam Arm absolutely refuse to answer him is disgusting. Like, you are a race engineer, you respond to your driver straight and foremost.
Yeah.
I mean, that was obviously during Monaco, but I have noticed it since in Spain as well. There was a few times where Lewis was like asking a question, it was just silence.
Yeah.
You answer your driver, you're the engineer, you don't leave him hanging. He's asking you a question, you answer your driver. So I am not enjoying seeing that, and I do think Lewis is taking the blame on himself, and I don't think he necessarily should 100%. Don't get me wrong, I think there is an element that he is struggling with the car, and that is a him thing with driving. But does he take the full blame? I don't think so. So we have that to talk about. Then we've got the fact that, let's face it, as much as you are happy, we need to discuss the fact that eventually McLaren are going to start fighting.
Yeah.
When that's going to happen, there is going to be blood. There is going to be blood.
No.
blood.
No, they're quite good.
They are, but it's just...
They're quite like sportive as well. Like Norris doesn't come out and say, "Well, yeah, they should have let us battle. They should have let us fight for the first and stuff." He came out and said,
"The thing is, Norris won't battle because Norris is a team sport player. He is not an individualistic."
He would happily.
No,
he would happily.
Norris is a good. And I say this wholeheartedly as a Norris fan. Norris is a wonderful human being who would do it for the team. He wouldn't do it for himself. Whereas
he wants that championship. I'm a McLaren fan, and I'm saying Norris will fight for it. He won't.
I don't think he will. Anyway, that's not the main thing we need to talk about. Let's face facts. We are going to discuss for the next 10 minutes Max Verstappen, because Max Verstappen is back to doing Max Verstappen things. He's back to 2021 Abu Dhabi. Yes, Jesse, Mardy. That is the exact word I'd use for Max Verstappen. Mardy.
Once again means moody. We're from Derby. Okay. Mardy is a Derby term, but it means moody.
Mardy. So there I am, doing my little driving. Woohoo, go around the corner. Oh, wait a second. No, I can't, because bang, Max Verstappen. Bang. I cannot get over what he was thinking. Like, I genuinely don't understand. I mean, look, did the team make the right decision in having him give George the space back? No, I don't think they did. George did push him off in that move. I don't think George did it intentionally.
No.
From all aspects. I think by the looks of it, I think by the looks, his car's actually just overspending a little bit. It's gone out. It happens, and I think that's why he's been pushed off. I don't necessarily think George immediately wanted to push Verstappen off the track. Obviously, we've also got, like I said to you as well, Charles was directly in front, so Verstappen had very few places to go, so he had to go off. Reasonably, I don't think the FIA would have asked him to give that place back. I just don't. I don't feel like there was any chance of them doing that because George was in the wrong in that instance. Verstappen did what he did to keep himself safe. So I don't think in that moment Verstappen did the wrong thing. Then, to go around that corner at the speed he was, and the fact that it's quite a wide corner as well. I'm saying you could easily overtake on that corner if you wanted to, if your car was fast enough. So it's not even a corner where it's a slight corner and it's tough and you shouldn't be giving that space up. You have plenty of space to give that space up. As I said, he shouldn't have been doing that anyway. But I feel like what Max heard was, okay, I need to give the space up. He was doing it, and then all of a sudden he thought, do you know what? No, I don't agree with this decision. And instead of doing the right thing and just speeding to go around it, he decides to, I'm going to say it, deliberately.
Yeah, he did. It was deliberate.
Crash. It's not crash, don't get me wrong. It is literally, but I mean, I don't know the other word to describe it. It is crash into
He did crash into
He went into Russell.
Damn near clashed into me.
I just think, like, and I genuinely can't, in my mind, think of where the only thing I think is he saw, it's like the red mist went over and it was gone.
Yeah.
He was just thinking, no, I'm angry, I'm throwing my toys out the pram, you're in my way, bang, you're out of my way. I genuinely think, like, you've lost. I mean, he was in 4th place. He was easily going to get 4th place points. That's gone. He now earned 1 point, which, to be honest with you, shouldn't have even earned that. I think they should have given him a 30-second penalty. He didn't deserve 10 seconds. I think 10 seconds was incredibly lenient on the FIA, which, again, if you want to call Mardy, I always say I think the FIA are far too nice, to be honest, with Red Bull than they ever should be. I think Red Bull deserved a much harsher penalty for that. But to see that and to just, like, I can't even imagine what was going through Russell's head. Like, that wasn't... It's not even like an actual move. There's no way of colouring it in any other way other than he threw his toys out the pram and he crashed into another driver.
I get the winning mindset, like a champion's mindset. However, when you go and get 200 miles an hour, you kind of need that little bit of safety, and that's not.
I don't even think it's the aspect of just having a winner's mindset, though. I think there's the aspect of the fact that you are in control of something that could kill someone. You are in control of a car.
Yeah, you go 200 miles an hour.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't have the thing of, no, you've taken my place, so I'm going to hit you now. You can't do that. That's not... You shouldn't be doing that. That's not what you should be doing. And then to see his reaction in interviews and literally just being like, I'd rather talk about the whole race than one instant. Well, no one wants to talk about the whole race. You've screwed up your whole race, which, by the way, decent driving for the majority of that race.
No, it wasn't just decent. I was fortunate enough to watch it, and wasn't just decent. He raced amazingly, the entire thing. And I'm not backing Max in any way, but I will say I understand the frustration he'll have with his team, with everyone. I mean, putting him on hard tyres when everyone's on soft, so no matter of fact, he will be overtaken instantly. It's quite sad to see him overtaking Charles. He took Hamilton at one point. He took over Hadjar quite impressively. He took over quite a few people very safely, very impressively, and the speed that he was catching up to the McLarens. Bear in mind, McLaren's got two very confident, very good drivers.
Yeah, strong drivers.
Strong drivers, and in a car that's just insane right now. They are the best team. They're running the championship. They are winning. They're winning both this year.
Yeah.
And for him to keep on top of him and actually keep Lando, an actual battle between them going, is that Red Bull, which is nowhere near as good as a McLaren, is he going to be able to take Norris? Norris is a good driver, yeah? Max just proved, he just showed that he is better, just in a worse car. And then to get screwed up by Hadjar versus Lawson, and then the hard tyres, the letting Russell go through. Obviously, the hard tyres again, Charles just overtaken. He was in soft tyres, so again, the hard tyres. Red Bull making mistakes with a free. It was. I understand his frustration. I will never back what he did. It was dangerous, and he should not have done it. But I will back his frustration towards everything because of how good he was performing, and then having to lose all that because of bad decisions not made by him.
But I think the thing that annoyed me was in an interview acting like it didn't happen, and that's what I think he was doing. He was literally acting like, we're focusing on one moment, let's focus on the whole race. No, you screwed up. You screwed up, and it's not like you can blame the team for that. That was your frustration that you've let out, that's almost ended someone. At the end of the day, had it been any harder, that would have been the end of Russell's race. His car would have been smashed, so would have Verstappen's have been. So congratulations, you both lose points. And this is the thing about Verstappen, and I know that people are, and I guarantee people will say, oh my god, it's literally like listening to Lewis fan and all this crap. Whatever. At the end of the day, when you go back to 2021 Abu Dhabi, and you go back to any of the 2021 season, to be honest with you, specifically, when you're looking at Monza, when you were looking at Imola, there's so many moments. But when you look at how Verstappen was, and I will always go back to this crash with Hamilton, where that wheel went over Hamilton's head.
That was
And his reaction was to hit Hamilton like it's his fault. And that is literally a child saying, you've taken away my place, I'm not happy with you, so it's your fault, not mine. No, you need to take accountability. I understand he's done an Instagram post, and he has been one mistake, it was a bit stupid. He's not said sorry. I don't understand why you can't just say, I am sorry, I screwed up. It's not hard to just say, I am sorry for that mistake. It's not hard to say.
He does in his own way.
He does in his own way, but saying I'm sorry isn't difficult.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you almost screwed up another driver's race. For what? For what? You didn't have to. Reasonably, had you let him pass in a couple of corners, I wouldn't be surprised if FIA said, actually, George has to give it back because he was in the wrong.
Yeah.
Instead, you get hit with a 10-second time penalty and you've lost all those points. By the way, shouldn't have had 10 seconds, should have had 30. But in fact, shouldn't have even had 30. Should have been immediate black flag.
Yeah.
Immediate black flag.
It should have been a black flag, and the fact it wasn't is a bit shocking to me.
It is shocking. But this is what I mean. As always, there is a degree of leniency when it comes to... I don't want to even just say Red Bull, Max, with the FIA. FIA are reasonably a little lenient when it comes to Max and their decisions, and I feel like that was massive leniency because he should have had an immediate black flag. That should have been immediately, get back into the pit, you're done. You are done. And instead, it's just a 10 seconds, so he still gets a point. How is that any fair? How is that any fair? But yeah, I genuinely... I don't want to keep going because I feel like anyone who's an F1 podcaster, anyone who does F1 sort of information, things like that, everyone will be talking about it this week. But I don't think there's anything else you could talk about. It was such a big and sort of what the hell moment. That. What else can you say? It's genuinely what else can you say?
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened. So. I don't know what more I can say. I genuinely was in disbelief because I remember when you called me, because I called you, didn't I? And I was saying, what the hell happened? Like, why is... Because I was obviously just checking standings because I was at work. And I was literally calling you like, what the hell, why is Verstappen in 10th?
Yeah.
Because I'd checked before and he was 4th, and I was like, I know he's been doing well. And you were like, we need to talk. So as soon as I got back and you said, and I was like, no, whatever. The next day I was I obviously managed to watch the highlights. I managed to catch up on most of the race. And I literally remember sitting there and thinking, it wasn't, there's no way it's going to be as bad as you made it out. And I was like, oh no, it's
really
worse.
is, yeah.
It's worse. Like, yeah, I think there's, and I've said it before, and I do think, I'm reiterating it a little bit, but when it comes to Max, I do think there's an element of he's such a good driver, but he's just dangerous, and it's not in like a fun, like, oh, you know, silly sort of, maybe he will hurt himself because he just takes a corner too fast. No, I think he's dangerous to other people on the track, and there's a difference between like being a great driver and being that, and I just don't think, I genuinely don't think there's a place for it in the sport at all. So yeah, that's my takes this week. Thank you for listening to my 10-minute rant on Max Verstappen.
Yeah. You did say 20 minutes, to be fair, so you didn't do too bad.
I dwindled it down.
Yeah. I would like to just mention, again, like I already mentioned, I won't go too much into it because I already said it. Max was disrespected a lot in that race, and people forget how good of a race he put in before that, because he does ruin it for himself. He did such an amazing race, but then he had to do that and destroy it for himself, which is his fault, and he shouldn't have done what he did, so it is his fault. But his matchup with Lando, when he was chasing Lando, and he was close, and I genuinely thought, God, my McLaren might be overtaken. I do think Lando's good enough, and he is fast enough to keep him at bay. So I don't know if he would have. Either way, it was enough for me to go, this is going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
Either one of them could take second right now. They weren't going to do Piastri. They weren't going to be able to do that. But he may or may not have got second, and it was a good fight. Could he have took Norris? Could he not? It was a good fight. And Hadjar and Lawson, that was very disappointing to see. I know they're new racers. I know they haven't done much in F1, so they don't have a whole bunch of experience. But it was sad to see because they really did mess up, both of them. They were trying to say, Rosberg on the mics was trying to say he was actually helping. He didn't. Yeah. Max was behind them, like he was catching up, and then next minute Norris had to slow down and sped up, and then Max had to wait until he could speed up. So they did do Max in a bit. They did Norris in a bit. They should have seen. They are drivers. They should see in the mirrors. Right, they're lap cars. They're coming past. Let them go through. Instead, they decided to race each other.
I will
between
say,
them.
from watching it though, I don't think it was. Like, I think Lawson and Behrman had their little squabble, and reasonably...
Behrman, not Hadjar, Behrman.
I think reasonably in that moment, Behrman's going to have that sort of... Like, they were overtaking it, and it is normal. Like, at the end of the day, you aren't necessarily going to realise straight away they're lap cars. Like, you might just take a few seconds fair. But I do think Behrman went to get out of the way and just struggled because Lawson was just not allowing that space for him to get out of the way.
I'd blame Lawson more.
He was on a corner as well, so Behrman couldn't get out of the way.
Fighting in a place that they should not be fighting, and it was sad to see.
It was, but I also think at the end of the day, like, it in the grand scheme of things, it is quite small. Like,
yeah.
I am also very briefly going to touch on the fact that Charles accidentally bumped into Max. But let's just really briefly go over that and let's not talk about it anymore because I don't think it really happened. But
I don't think Charles
it wasn't
would
on purpose.
He
No,
wouldn't.
it wasn't on purpose.
It's not how Charles drives.
No.
Max
would.
Sure. Russell?
Yeah.
Russell would. I reckon Russell would bang in.
Do you know what?
I reckon Piastri would even knock in someone. Charles is
Piastri
not.
wouldn't.
I don't know. I reckon Oscar would.
Oscar
I don't think Charles is not that type of driver to knock in someone. He's not. However, he did bump into Max on the street. What Max said when he said he knocked into me in the street, he did do that.
Did.
Whether it's an action or not, he did
but it
do
was
it.
definitely not intentional.
No,
and
but
that's
it doesn't
why
matter.
But I think that's also why there was no penalty for Charles because it wasn't
but it's not
intentional.
fair. Now, if Max,
it's not fair.
If Max accidentally
You pushed
bumped
me, I
into
pushed him
someone,
back, he pushed me on the
he
track, it's
accidentally
not fair.
bumped into Charles Leclerc there on the straight, and he goes, "Sorry." He goes, "If Max said sorry, the wind pushed me a bit. My wheel tapped him. Yeah." he'd have a 10-second penalty.
Look.
But Leclerc's fine. It's not fair.
All I'm saying is, Cart, give me a hand.
No.
Just give me a hand. Have you seen
Yeah.
Charles Leclerc? Would you give him a penalty? No, you wouldn't, because who could give that man a penalty?
It's not fair, Jay. It's not fair. It's not.
No, I
they're on the
genuinely-
track and you push me. It's not fair.
I will say, I genuinely nothing.
Yeah. Afterwards, Charles should have said, "What happened when you pushed him?" Nothing.
Just an incident.
Listen.
No, I will say there is genuinely a degree in it that I don't think, in any capacity, it was his fault.
It wasn't, but you can't give one person a penalty and not another.
But there has been moments where that's happened and there hasn't been penalties given. Do you know what I mean? Like
I don't know.
No, but there has been moments where that has happened before, and they haven't been penalties given because there is a degree of, at the end of the day, it's not. I don't think it was penalty worthy.
Purely.
I get why other people would want a penalty,
Yeah.
but as always, would it have been a different story had Max not have done that? Maybe, genuinely, maybe. I think there's an element of the FIA was sort of like, we kind of have to focus on the ones.
The Russell thing was pretty much straight after.
Yeah, it was directly after, pretty much.
So there's a chance maybe they were looking into it, and then that happened, and thought, right, we have bigger issues now. But
that's what I mean.
either way,
I don't know if it was. I mean, I know that obviously they still took Charles to the steward's office. They still spoke to him because obviously he came out the post race conference. So I know that they obviously did speak to Charles about it.
Yeah,
and I do think there is an element of. Look, because it's happened with Russell before, where Russell's bumped into someone and he explained it was not intentional. It's like when he when they were on the safety car and they thought he was still lifting, he wasn't.
No,
it wasn't intentional.
Yeah. Look,
so
I get
there is
you.
that element, and I think that's what the stewards probably focused on. And at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, you can't punish Charles after Max did what Max did.
I get you.
So.
However, if you're a Red Bull fan, if you're a Max fan,
you're going to be angry.
You would be angry, and if he did that to Norris and he got ahead, I would have a different story.
You would have.
I'm not a Red Bull fan. I'm not a Max fan, so I'm not going to back them as much. But if it happened, then that'd be a different story, and I think most people would think that. But because it's a Red Bull that it happened to, it's fine.
Again, look.
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. What's your point?
It's not the fact. I just think I'd do you know if he was upset, I'd cry. I'd just be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
I don't know.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right, Charles. Leave.
It's fine. I'm
leave,
so
Charles.
sorry.
It's fine.
It's like upsetting an angel. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I've said that to you. I'm so sorry. But no, seriously, I do genuinely think had Max, and I know you can't really say that because reasonably every incident should be taken on its own merit without question.
Yeah.
There is that element of would you be able to really take that on merit with what Max did afterwards? I don't know if you could. I genuinely think that was going to impact your decision making to a degree.
Yeah.
So I genuinely do think I don't want to be biased because Ferrari are my team, Charles is my driver. I don't want to be biased, but I do.
Are.
Yeah, I am, and I am biased. But I also think, if anyone else had done it, I think I'd say the same thing. At the end of the day, it was accidental. There's no need to come for his head, sort of thing. So, yeah, that's my take on it. Personally, that's my take on it. But yeah, that is me wrapped up. I've had my little rant. I feel lighter, guys. I feel like my shoulders are lighter. I feel like I've cried it out. So let's end this.
Yeah. Oh, we'll be doing an outro.
Oh God.
So, people, thank you very much for listening.
If you're Roman, if you're Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah, something about Anglos or Vikings or Romans or the two groups that didn't live at the same time. I hope you enjoyed this, and please go and follow us on social media. We are on any platform that you can think of. We will be trying to do more stuff. MySpace.
We're not on MySpace. MySpace doesn't exist
Does
anymore.
that exist?
It doesn't exist anymore.
I had a MySpace account.
You did not have a MySpace account.
Yeah.
No.
When I was in school, secondary school, I had a MySpace account.
I mean, I had one, but
Instagram weren't even around back then. It was just Facebook, and I thought I'd try MySpace. I had MySpace. Oh. Anyway, guys, follow us on whatever social media, not MySpace, that you want to. We will be trying to be more active on there. And
Bebo.
What's Bebo?
I feel like that was an old person thing.
Okay.
I've never even heard of it, to be honest.
You're talking about what's the MTV? Is it MTV?
MTV
Vivo.
Cribs.
Oh my god. Yeah. we are on everything, so please go and follow us. And we
Please.
will be back
Please.
again next week, hopefully with some more. I don't know if
You're not signing off correctly.
I'm
Jess, shall we
Yeah,
drive safely?
Oh, my bad.
Don't
make sure
drink
you-
alcohol.
Drive home
Don't do
safe.
drugs.
Stay hydrated.
Wear your sunscreen.
Eat your 5 a day. I
Take
recommend-
them antibiotics who are prescribed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
take them as
damn
well. That's
right,
always a
damn
good thing.
right.
I recommend pears for your 5 a day, or maybe oranges.
Plums.
Bit of kiwi,
plums.
bit
The kiwi's always
Yeah.
good for you. Make sure you
Spinach.
go have regular trips to the dentist. Make sure your teeth. are
Regular trips to
good
the
and-
dentist is so important, yeah. So important.
Make sure you wear your sunscreen when it's a hot day out.
Cut your hair if you got split ends.
Yeah, that too.
Hug a dog.
Yeah, if you
Hug a dog, absolutely.
unless
hug a
you're
dog.
allergic, then I would probably
Then hug a
recommend
cat.
that. Yeah, then hug a cat.
If you see a dog trapped in a car and it's really hot outside,
Get it out.
smash a window,
Get
open
it
the
out.
door, let him run.
Yeah.
okay for it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And,
Carl, carry
no,
on.
no. These are things we need to mention.
Yeah.
So we do appreciate you listening, guys. Please listen to us on everything. Download, subscribe, anything you can. We really appreciate it. Until next time, guys. I've been Carter. Goodbye.
I've been Charlie. Bye.
I have been here.
Jesse is very ill this week. But we are
I'm
staying
very
up.
ill.
Well done, dude.
Yeah.
High five.
Au revoir, guys.
Take care.
Bye.